middle ones. You can sit on the other side if you want. Join us.
How is that?
Come chill.
Is that good?
Yeah.
We'll be on each side.
Oh, I'm loud. Well, welcome everyone. Since we've got so much space, I'm going to be really, really annoying and ask everyone to stand up and come like 3 rows up because we can't even see your beautiful faces. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you. All right, my name is Brittany. I am the head of market innovation at Harpy.io. We are a security tooling platform. We build free consumer tooling so that everybody can be keeping their assets safe and be proactive. And then we also build enterprise security suites and solutions as well. And I am going to let these lovely people up on the stage introduce themselves. We'll start with lady to my left, Miss Anjali.
Hi, everyone. Can I say good morning at 3 p.m.? I don't know if I can say. Can I say GM at 3 p.m.? Yeah, you're right. GM's anytime. GM, everybody. My name is Anjali Young. I am the co-founder and the chief community officer for Collab.Land. We are a token gating community tool on Discord and on Telegram.
Awesome. You can keep that.
I get to keep it.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, COO of Snapshot. Snapshot is the leading governance voting platform for Web3. 96% of DAOs in Web3 utilize Snapshot as part of their governance process. So we proudly have been serving the space for about 3 years, and nice to be here with you all.
Welcome. All right, so we're going to talk about keeping your community safe. And it's a really important time and space to be doing that because, especially with meme coin season and on-chain summer and all that fun, we're seeing an uptick in hacks, scams, and phishing theft. And what's really important, especially as artists, as community founders, as project founders, and all sort of the auxiliary things we have going on with NFT Fest, it's really important to not only be aware of the threats and vulnerabilities you have, but also what steps you can take in order to be proactive about securing spaces like your Discord servers or your DAO votes and things like that. So I'm going to ask my other teammates up here on this stage about some of their security experiences and some steps that they're taking to be proactive with security. We'll also talk a little bit about preventative tooling as well. So Anjali, you're really good with making Discord servers and Telegram chats, safe spaces, and not being infiltrated with people that aren't meant to be in there. What did you see that inspired you to create that type of solution?
Well, Collab.Land originally started as a DAO tooling. We started in May of 2020, and it was really because COVID happened. All of a sudden, we were in shut down. We couldn't meet in our usual spaces with DAOs, which were IRL meetups at different conferences. And so now we were in a situation where everyone was locked down, and how are we going to get together and talk about the votes that are coming up? So that's kind of Snapshot related. So that was originally what Collab.Land was, which is all members of your DAO can get together in a Telegram chat. We were Telegram to begin with. Discord really wasn't on there was no roadmap at that point. Collab.Land was just one of the experiments that we were trying to show off our no-code tooling. So that was kind of we weren't thinking about groups being so big and being infiltrated. It was very much niche communities getting together, people that were in the DAO space in 2020. There really weren't that many people. So that's where it started. Of course, over time, end of 2020, beginning of 2021, that's when Discord started getting more, people were asking for more complexity from Telegram. So they were using Telegram, and then from Telegram saying, we need more. We need more robust features. We need more, space for people to do things. We need more, composability, with roles, because Telegram is if you have the token, you get access, or if you have these 2 tokens, you get access. There isn't much specificity, but with Discord, as maybe some of you know, you can get roles. So if you have a Pudgy, you get a Pudgy role, and if you have an ape, you get an ape role. So there's more gamification that you can do and more specificity that you can do. But when you get into Discord, and once we reached, and I'm going to try not to talk so much, but when we reached the 1 million wallets connected level, then it's almost like we got on this like scammer like notice. There must have been like a bulletin that's sent among scammer comms, and it was like, oh, Collab.Land is all of a sudden in the zeitgeist for scammers. And so then you get fake Collab.Lands, and that's where it was like, wait a second. The scammers have noticed us. They're starting to build fake Collab.Lands. What do we need to do? And that's when we were like, things started to change. So we moved out of DM. It used to be DM with the bot. We removed DM, and we added all these different like security, like you have to go through it at a certain time. You have to make sure you like match the name of your community to the following pages that you go to. Like there's all types of new ways for members to make sure that they're interacting with the authentic Collab.Land. That being said, it was such a fire hose of people joining in like 2021, 2022, that's when people are just not paying attention. And so really the number one message that we try to give people is like, no FOMO, because that rule works for all of crypto. And if you're in a situation where you're in your car and you're trying to catch something, or if you're like, it's late at night and you're like, oh my God, there was an announcement in the Discord, let me do it. Like you're not really paying attention. And so the number one tip, as much as we do, projects do, to create safety and safe spaces and put in all these safety features, none of it matters if people have FOMO and they're not even looking to see like, wait a minute, this is a Collab.Land with 3 L's, like, or a 0 instead of an O. Like I can't help you at that point. And nobody can help you at that point. So that's really the first thing that we say, but I'll stop there so Jeremy gets a chance.
No, that's really awesome. Like we talk about it all the time that like FOMO is like the biggest red flag you should have, right? Like if you feel like there's a chance that if you don't act on this in like the next 60 seconds or 10 minutes before you can even get to a safe parking spot, like 9 times out of 10, there's something fishy going on there. And that's when you see like the most theft, the most risk. And it's not just like your average holder that's getting tricked out of their assets. It's CTOs, it's founders, it is all the people that you think would be immune to this type of thing. Yeah.
I remember Kevin Rose a while ago had a scam, and then I think there was another one from like XRPL or Ripple.
The CTO of Artifact as well got drained.
See, so it happens to people that have been in the industry for a very, very long time. I've also been, I can't call it a scam if it's me being an idiot, but I had that happen while I was driving. It was for the Mechaverse drop. This was like August of 2021. And that's why I always mention driving. Like, don't do it when you're driving. What an idiot I am that I'm driving and I'm waiting for this mint to happen. And I got a message and I was like, oh, it happened. And it was a DM. And I didn't even recognize it was a DM instead of an announcement, like in the actual server.
Yeah, it's like a really effective way.
Yeah, there are very elaborate, targeted scams in crypto. There are teams that spend a lot of time building kind of a whole arc of a story that they're going to kind of wrap someone into. They create fake websites of high quality. I mean, they even write smart contracts. I mean, I have seen personally like some very like deeply thought out, very professional. I mean, they invested significant money to create the scam, in the hopes that if it's successful, that they're going to kind of win a huge amount. And yes, they usually target founders and VCs. So like, don't download anything is a good rule. Like anyone sends you a file. It was actually pretty recently that some scammer reached out to myself and a team member not that long ago and was posing as a well-known VC and had kind of like created a Telegram handle and a bunch of stuff that would make it seem like they're legit. And they were like, we want to have a call with you guys. And they like sent us a link. And they're like, we prefer to use this video chat platform. And I don't click on links from random people. And if you did click on the link, it would have downloaded a file onto your computer, and that's when you're effed basically. So don't download anything is one thing I would say. But to like kind of back up to kind of the original question in terms of like Snapshot and community safety. Snapshot is all about giving community members a voice on making important decisions and allowing large, decentralized, global organizations to make decisions in a way that is seamless and organized. So for us, it's, we want to make sure that only addresses that are holding the governance token of the DAO in question are allowed to vote, and that their voting power is being calculated correctly. And we also provide over 400 different ways that a DAO could decide how voting power is calculated for their community. So you can think of endless possibilities in terms of how that should work for a particular DAO. And our job is to make that seamless and to abstract the complexity that's happening on the back end for that to work, and for the administrators of a DAO and the power users, power community members of the DAO that help that thing run and help to design and implement their governance system are getting what they expect, and that Snapshot is working as expected. And that's how we're powering a lot of the decisions that are shaping crypto.
That's really like amazingly effective. And one of the things you said like right at the beginning was, how these scams are like really well thought out projects with investment and things. And I think a lot of people really truly believe that the majority of scammers are just like a single person in a basement, rocking a hoodie or something like that with a bunch of monitors around them.
Who doesn't speak English well. I mean, you get lucky when they like send you a message and you're like, this like feels sketchy, but there are some really, really top-notch pros who are working on that. But sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. They're full enterprise solutions. I mean, these people have payroll and HR, and there's project handoff. I mean, there's like the first vulnerability is one team, and then they sell the vulnerabilities they've aggregated to the next team. And that's, for me, moving from just like the Web3 design, development, and innovation space, like specifically into security, was really enlightening to just understand how well thought out all of these attacks were. And it really was one of the big inspirations for us to build the community dashboard, because we were investing so much time and energy in like one-off specific user security. And we realized it was very hard to get like a full scope of your community health, because the reality is it's not one ape that's going to be attacked. They're going to create some sort of website that's meant to trick all of the apes into signing away their assets, or creating an approval that allows them to be drained or something like that. So it's really, really important to like understand that it's not just like a one-to-one targeting. They're large-scale organizations that are dropping large-scale phishing attacks for the majority of it.
Yeah, I think, two things. One is I personally really appreciate the people who have been targeted by scams and they tell their story like on Twitter, because it's like embarrassing to admit that you fell for it and that you just lost a bunch of money. Like, that sucks. But I think it helps so many people when they do that. And I have personally read like several of those threads that really helped me understand like how security needs to work in this space, like from people who've unfortunately been screwed over by these scams. So that's one thing I just want to like give appreciation to people who like put their community first. Essentially, they're like, I don't want this to happen to you, and I'm gonna let people think that I'm an idiot by sharing this story. And sometimes you see like, damn, that like the scam can last weeks, it can last months. I mean, they slow play you sometimes. And so that was the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing was, being that this is a NFT focused crowd, I think that the NFT space, attracts people who are passionate about art and creativity and expression. And it's like, I come from the DeFi world where, it's kind of a different background. And I think that like all of that is to say that I do find it quite important for a DAO to help educate its community on security practices and like provide kind of advice and solutions, security dashboard, as you mentioned, because I think you have a lot of people who are coming in for different reasons, who are excited about different things, and like They probably mostly don't have a background in like cybersecurity, but like, you know, you kind of like need that in crypto, which is crazy because it shouldn't be that complicated. But there are way too many ways to like lose everything in crypto. It's just like way too many ways to just like die, metaphorically speaking.
I've got a question for both of you guys, actually, too, because I talk about this quite a bit, because I love those threads. When people are really candid about their experience, what happened, like, it empowers people with so much information. And then what you also see is all the security professionals coming in, right, and giving their recommendations on favorite tools and stuff like that. Then there's Twitter Spaces, and everyone's, all like analyzing what's happened, and it's like we got very caught watching the SVU episode, and we're so excited, and we're investigating, and we're finding all the answers. But what I see a lot of times is that people take that, they absorb it, they know what they could do, and very few people take the next step to actually add those additional layers of protection, right? Like, oh, let me go and check my open approvals, or let me go make sure that my assets are truly safe. Let me go check my security score, set up advanced protection. And, what do you think would inspire people, or how we can inspire the community more to actually act? When we see these threads and we're learning about new vulnerabilities, like, how do we actually inspire holders to take that next step and actually do the things that we're seeing recommended in that thread about how they could just, improve how they're reading their emails, or, add another layer of security to their Telegram chat or something like that too?
Well, I don't think there's anything that's more effective than getting scammed. So for me, I got scammed, or whatever, was an idiot, in August of 2021.
You weren't an idiot. It was
And
designed like that.
after that happened, I took all my wallets off my phone and I moved them to a different instance of my computer. So the instance of my computer that has Twitter, that has email, well, actually, I have a different email account on my other instance. But if I want to transact, then I have to email my other a special email that I can only access from another instance of my computer where all of my crypto wallets are. And so, like, I have a Solana wallet, I have a Bitcoin wallet, I have two ETH wallets, like, all of that is on a separate instance because I no longer felt like I wanted to have everything in the same place. And it's so easy with my phone. Like I said, I was on my phone when I fell for that scammer. So I didn't want to give myself an opportunity to be impulsive. That's what I did. And it was because I only lost like the mint cost. Like I bought 5 of something that was super rare. And I was like, wait, that seems like bullshit. And then I went home and I like moved everything out of that wallet and never used it again. But being scammed is almost like tuition in our space. And so once you've paid that tuition, then you learn. But if I could tell people, I would say definitely try to move silo your assets into different wallets. So that way you have one wallet that you're transacting with and it doesn't have a lot of things in it, or use delegate cash. But again, nothing motivates you like getting screwed. Like, getting your house robbed, you're always going to have a security system. Like, unfortunately, as human beings, we don't want to take extra effort, and it is difficult. Like, you even said to me, like, connect your wallet when we were in the backstage. She's like, oh, you have to connect your wallet. I said, I can't connect my wallet. I don't have my wallet on my phone. It's almost like I need to have a second phone with my wallets that isn't connected to my text and my email and my phone calls. But what gets us to do that other than having a close family friend or a friend, like also getting scammed? Like, I don't know. We don't want to be inconvenienced. So how do we do it? I don't know. Question for Jeremy, I guess.
Well, I think my understanding of your core question is, how do you get people to care more about security so that they're willing to actually take action on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sort of along the same lines, you don't want to find out once it's too late, like where you've suffered a significant loss and then you find out that security is important and that you wish that you did better in your setup before. Yeah, I mean, I think seeing real world cases makes it more like real and human. Like when you see from someone kind of explaining what happened to them, like I think that hits home. and probably prevents a lot of people from having to experience it themselves. I think it's a great question. I don't have a silver bullet. Like, how do you get people to care more? I mean, I think you share with them the information, and like hopefully they'll do something about it. And I mean, people will learn in their own way. Like, some people learn the easy way, some people learn the hard way.
Well, and also it's people really don't want to be inconvenienced. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Like, if things are auto-filled on a website, I'm going to buy it. If I have to like put in my credit card number, then I'm like, forget it. That's too much work. So it's like we're always looking for less work. And so like even with Collab.Land, we add so many security features and tell people about them, and they're like, we don't care. Like, people don't want to hear it. I don't know how you get people to care.
I mean, maybe another way to approach the question is like, if you are a Web3 protocol, platform, project, how can you provide security to your users and abstract it as much as possible so that you're not adding a burden to them, and you're providing security without asking them to kind of take extra steps, and sort of like seeing yourself as having this role or responsibility of like being a shepherd of like safe Web3 usage.
However, in Web3, we know it's not, because I can tell you from our protocol, like we can take all the security steps. Like, we have 4 years of a gold star like reputation in what we've provided. However, being an imposter, right? Fakers, like that's really the biggest challenge in crypto. Imposters that are coming at you from, like now they're attacking gaming content creators, where they'll like send you a fake game to review, and then you download it, and they know that you're influencer or something, and so you have all this reach. And so it's like, it's really the social engineering that's the hard part. So yes, protocols can do it, but how do you make sure that they're getting to the right place?
Also, I think the last line of defense is the wallet providers, because ultimately the only place that something can be stolen from is your wallet. So the wallet providers, I think, have a lot on them to like come up with ways to protect users, even though, you know, like, I mean, it's not the wallet provider's fault when the user gets scammed, but like, what can a wallet provider do? And I think they are all focusing on this very much, and I've been seeing kind of new security features being included.
Well,
in
WalletGuard
wallets, like,
just got acquired by MetaMask. I don't know if you saw that, but that's huge. That they're probably, I don't know. I'm aware of the WalletGuard team, and they're an amazing team, and I know what they work on, which is saving people when they're connecting their wallet, and MetaMask just acquired them. So I do think you're right. We are going to start seeing security features built into wallets, which is awesome.
No, and I think you really hit like the nail on the head there too, because I mean, especially Harpy, like I'm traveling around the world constantly talking to founders and NFT owners and communities and all these things about protection, and yeah, you can inspire certain people to take action at certain times because different things spoke to them meaningfully, but the reality is it does need to be baked into just about every single layer of what the consumer is interacting with, because it's a lot of pressure to put on a consumer or a user to actually set up their own security layers. You're counting on them knowing that they need to do it, caring that they need to do it, but how can we bake it into the wallets? You know, how can we make sure that every wallet has an RPC layer in it? You know, like we have a very powerful heuristics engine, and, you know, are very proud to power a lot of the really cool security tools out there. Like WalletGuard really started using our heuristics, and that's like a really special thing to be able to have security companies collaborating. But where I think we need to see even more collaboration is specifically at the community to security level, at the wallet to security level, because the more it's baked in, the less we're relying on each specific user and consumer and collector to actually be, you know, taking their own steps. And then what they're doing is they're taking additional steps and just adding more layers of security to sort of that like onion situation.
Yeah, fundamentally, we're having this conversation because this is a fundamental flaw in the UX of Web3. So, like, it shouldn't be this hard to, like, just be safe while using a technology. Like, you know, you don't have to take extreme security measures to use other technologies and, like, not lose all your money and stuff. So, like, that is also just on the builders of the industry, in the industry to, like, kind of continue to level up the user experience so that security is baked in and like it can just become more reasonable. Like if you're a user of Web3 today, you're essentially an early adopter, and as an early adopter, you face risks that later adopters are not going to face. Those later adopters are not going to be willing to get involved today because there's a higher level of risk, you know, but there's also a higher level of reward for you being early to something. So I think that this is a natural cycle of like an early technology becoming mature and gaining adoption kind of along this path of like it becomes easier, it becomes more convenient, more people use it. It's just sort of like not as complicated and scary.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
initially, like internet, right, when the internet first started, it was so bizarre to think that people would even be entering their credit card number into anywhere online. Like, who's going to do that? That's crazy. And look, now we all just do it. And credit card companies are really good about paying you back and not making you lose if you fall into a fraudulent situation. Like, are we going to start seeing some sort of insurance happening with providers? I don't know. Like, maybe it's too soon for everybody, but are we going to start seeing this sort of thing?
We've got about 30 seconds left, but I'm going to leave everybody in this room with some alpha. You should definitely keep an eye on Harpy in the next couple months because you may have just provided everybody with a little information about what we're going to be doing this summer and this fall. So I think the security tools that are really, have spent years working on their engines and are really confident in what they're doing are going to start needing to provide that layer of assurance because it's basically a requisite. Like you said, we want to transact safely and we want to know that the people we're trusting to help us transact safely have our back in case anything does go wrong. So we are just like a little bit over time, but I want to say thank you guys so much for joining me here today. It's been really wonderful. Do you have anything you want to say before we go?
Just survive.
All right, thank you, everyone. Anjali.
Yes, I think that's a great one. Survive. Thank you for being here. We're really out here in the Wild West still, like what we just talked about. Be safe. Silo your assets. Don't think about being scammed as if, but when, if you haven't already.
Absolutely. And if you're inspired to do one thing today, add another layer of security to your stack today because it'll make the world of difference tomorrow. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.